Okay guys, it's Dr. Sean Baker coming back with some more information on the carnivorous diet. I'll answer a few questions. One thing I want to talk about is fiber. We've been told that fiber is necessary for both digestion and for our overall health. I'm going to tell you that I think that's basically not true. And we've got a number of things that support that. The main thing is that, fiber we've been told is important for digestive health. There's been a number of studies that have shown that people that reduce their fiber actually note a decrease in constipation. There's been a study by Dr. Peary, P-E-E-R-Y, who noted that there was a dramatic reduction in the number of diverticula seen on colonoscopy in people that followed a low fiber diet. And so people with the highest amount of fiber had the greatest amount of diverticula in his particular study. I've linked a website called highstakes.com with a synopsis of quite a few studies on fiber and showing how truly it's actually unnecessary. Some of the beliefs about fiber are that it can help with decreasing blood glucose spikes, and that is actually true. If you eat an apple and it's got a lot of fiber in there, you're going to get less of a blood sugar response initially than you are if you were to drink straight apple juice. In the context of a carnivorous diet, that is not even an issue because you're not taking in any sugar anyway, so that becomes kind of a moot point. The other thing people talk about is the fact that some types of fiber, particularly insoluble fiber, has been known to potentially decrease cholesterol, and there's been a small effect noted with that, and that is also likely or possibly true. The problem with that is we are discovering that cholesterol is largely meaningless. I'll go into that in a different video, but our cholesterol levels can be changed just in a matter of a couple of days. A guy named Dave Feldman has just shown that he can change his cholesterol by over 100 points in as little as a week just by subtle changes in the diet. And so the fact that we tie all this predictive power into what your cholesterol is actually quite absurd, and it's caused a great deal of harm to many people, and that's something that people that are critics of this diet will point out, that it may raise your cholesterol. That is unfortunately for them a poor argument. Cholesterol is highly, highly variable, and it changes day to day, which we'll discuss in another video. People are now excited about the microbiome, and one thing they'll talk about is the fact that eating fiber helps to sustain certain bacteria that will otherwise, if left unchecked, might potentially, eat through a mucus layer that lines your colon, and that's true as well. The problem with that is, why do we have mucus in the first place? Well, if you have mucus in your lungs, mucus is a protective mechanism that a body has to adapt to irritation. If you get a lung infection, a viral infection, or if you're exposed to a lot of smoke or pollutants, you'll develop mucus in your lungs because it attempts to protect those delicate surfaces. Mucus in your lungs is not considered a good thing. The same thing that happens in our colon. Our colons are exposed to a chronic irritant, which we eat every day, and that irritant is actually fiber. Fiber is quite irritating to the intestines. The same fiber that you get in spinach is also found in sawdust. It's also found in tree bark. It's cellulose. We cannot digest it. It is irritating to our intestinal lining. That's why a lot of people that go on high fiber diets will notice extreme discomfort, bloating, gas, pain. That's because of the fiber in the diet. So what happens is, as you eat more and more fiber, your colon will make more and more mucus to protect the lining of the membranes from irritation, and that's what the mucus is for. It's not there to keep out bacteria. All right, it's just it happens that there's certain bacteria that thrive on fiber, but we do not need fiber. I've gone a year, more than a year, without any fiber. I have regular bowel movements every day, as do the thousands upon thousands of other people that do this diet long term. They will all tell you within after a short adaptation period that their digestive health is largely the best it's ever been in their lives. A few questions came up that I'll try to answer from the previous video. Somebody asked me about, you can eat squirrels and other stuff. You can eat game meat. That's fine. Some of it can be very lean, so you need to include some level of fat in the diet. Otherwise, you'll get something called rabbit starvation. Marinades are generally okay. Dry rub, seasoning are fine for most people. Some people do have a sensitivity to that, but avoid sauces that are heavily sugared or loaded with vegetable oils. Vegetable oils are oxidizable. Oxidizable oils tend to cause problems in the body. It's not like saturated fat is very stable, and that's the funny thing about it. Saturated fat is hard to oxidize, and so actually it's probably one of the better ones we can take in. Uh, the other couple questions I saw were about pre-workouts. You don't need that in the context of a carnivorous diet. You don't need to supplement protein. If you're eating, what a normal person will intake on this diet is usually 2.5 pounds of meat a day. You're not going to need any protein supplementation. The Trying to think of some other questions on there. Continue to submit the questions. I'll continue to try to respond to those. I'll put out, little videos fairly frequently just to kind of further, answer some questions. I'll try to link some studies or synopsises of studies for you guys to look at. Um, Participate World Carnivore Month on the Facebook group. We're growing. We're close to 2,500 people now. There are more and more people that are interested in this, and the good thing is more and more people are finding that it is significantly improving their health, and that's what the bottom line, what counts. All right, guys, so fiber, it's really a fantasy that we need that. It definitely is. Prior to the early 1900s, we didn't eat very much fiber anyway. It's something that the cereal companies discovered that they could sell this agricultural byproduct to us, and then we started promoting this high fiber diet. It's cheap, cheap to obtain material. They actually literally put sawdust in some of the processed foods there. These people do this stuff not because they care about your health. It's because they can make a profit off of cheap food that you can't even digest, and they try to explain it as something that's healthy when it's actually not. It is not needed. It's 100% not necessary. Um, you know, the only thing it may be beneficial for is displacing sugar and other garbage out of your diet. But beyond that, you don't need fiber. Okay. And the other stuff is epidemiology. That's what a lot of people point to is the epidemiology around this. And again, it has the same flaws that all these epidemiology studies have. They are highly confounded. There's all kinds of variables in there. And so, if somebody goes on a high fiber diet, they're also more likely to not smoke, not drink, listen to their doctor. Same confounders that we find with meat eaters. And so you can't draw any conclusions from that. Okay? All right, guys. Have a good day. We'll talk to you later.